Hey everybody, in this video we're talking about the demand curve, or you could say we're talking about the marginal benefit curve, because here's the thing guys, the demand curve is the marginal benefit curve. In fact, I like to say it this way guys, the marginal benefit curve is the foundation of the demand curve. And what's interesting is, hey, that supply curve, it's also the marginal cost curve. But we're not talking about supply in this video. I have a different video for that. In this video, we're talking about how the demand curve is the marginal benefit curve. So to understand that, let's get to our graph. What you see right off the bat is a downward sloping line. Hey, that could be a demand curve. And by the way, eventually at the end of this video, it's going to become a demand curve. But right now, I want you to see this curve as the marginal benefit curve, okay? I want you to see it as the additional benefit each good is going to provide somebody. The additional benefit each good is going to provide somebody. That's the marginal benefit, okay? That's what I'm mapping is marginal benefit, okay? I want you to also understand something that's so important is that every demand curve is actually a bunch of dots. I think it's so important conceptually to understand this. Every demand curve is actually a bunch of dots, and those dots sit over each good, okay, that we have represented on the horizontal axis. We have goods represented on the horizontal axis, right? The first good, second, third, fourth good. And guys, a dot sits over those goods. And the vertical distance between the horizontal line and the dot is the marginal benefit, the benefit that good could provide someone out there. Guys, just to jump over to supply just for a second, the supply curve is also made up of a bunch of dots. It's so important to understand that the supply curve is actually a bunch of dots. And those dots sit over each good, okay? And that vertical distance between the horizontal axis and the dot on a supply curve, that vertical distance between the horizontal axis and the dot, the vertical distance between the horizontal axis and the dot is the marginal cost, is the additional cost of supplying each good. The supply curve is actually a bunch of dots, and those dots sit over each good represented by the horizontal axis. Well, let's come back to the marginal benefit curve, okay? What we're saying in this particular graph is there is somebody out there who values whatever this good is. We're gonna say $16, okay? And we're gonna say that person values it the most, more than anybody else, okay? They're willing to pay up to $16 to acquire this good because they value it the most. And so, hey, we put that dot as the first dot on our graph, okay? Now, how much is the second good valued? We've already taken care of the first good, okay? That's gonna go to somebody out there who values it at $16. How much is the second good valued? We just go with the second highest value of the good, of the people in our market. What this graph is saying is that somebody values it about $15. Somebody values it about $15. If I'm losing you right now, let's imagine this. Let's imagine I had some good that people really wanted, and let's say I just had a classroom, right, of students, and they're the only people in the market, right? And I had a good that they all wanted. I said, hey guys, I only have maybe one of this good, or maybe two, whatever. I have a very limited amount of this good. I want you guys to put down what's the maximum you'd be willing to pay for it, okay? What's the maximum you'd be willing to pay for it? Well, they would know they were competing with each other, right, for this good. So they would probably put the maximum that they were willing to pay would represent the benefit they think this good is going to provide to them in monetary terms, okay? And if you don't quite get that, it's just the max they're willing to pay, right? We monetize the benefit of a good all the time. What's the max I'm willing to pay? If I collected that data, what I would do is I would find the highest dollar value, and that would be the first dot. And then the next dot, highest dollar value would be the next dot. Again, the benefit of the second good is going to provide somebody $15 of benefit. The benefit of the third good can provide somebody $14 of benefit about. It looks like about like that. The benefit of the fourth good, again, look at that vertical distance. The vertical distance from the horizontal to a dot on the demand curve is representing the benefit of that good. Remember what I said before, a demand curve is actually a bunch of dots. Each of those dots sits above a good, and the vertical distance from that good on the horizontal axis to the dot is measuring the benefit of that good, okay? Now, once you understand that, you understand, hey, I've got a marginal benefit curve right here. So there it is, marginal benefit curve. And notice I'm measuring marginal benefit of each good is dollars per unit, right? It's the benefit per unit, per good. So that's my unit of measurement. So this is $4 per good, $5 per good, $6 per good, $8 per good. That's the vertical axis. Now you start looking at this. Hey, just to do one more, that ninth good looks like it's going to provide a marginal benefit of somewhere close to about $7, right? Somewhere close to about $7. So we've got all those verticals measured. Now that we get that, and hey, this is really based on how much people value the good, right? Once I have that, I can begin to see the marginal benefit curve as the demand curve. Because then I can do something so interesting. I can say, look, yes, I can see these values as marginal benefit as I have to graph my graph, but I can also see these same values as, I'm going to change colors real quick here, as the price, okay? Now that's very interesting. When I start seeing these values as the price, then I think of it this way, guys. Imagine the price was right there, okay? I don't know, it looks like about $10, I don't know if I want to be exact, maybe like $10.70 or something like that. Well, how many, so that's the price. That's the price as determined by a market, a place where suppliers and demanders come together, right? I need supply and demand curves to find that price. We're just gonna say the market has determined this to be the price. Remember, I don't have a market shown here. There's no supply curve. I just have a demand curve, which we're just calling a marginal benefit curve right now. But anyhow, the price ends up being $10.70. How much of this good is going to be bought at that price? Well, the first good is definitely going to be bought, the second good, the third good, because look, the benefits of that first good, of the second good, of the third good, and the fourth good, and even the fifth good, guys, the benefits of those first five goods is greater than the price. And the price to the demander is a per unit cost, okay? So the benefit, the per unit benefit as represented by the dots is greater, sorry about that, I was kind of moving that around, is greater than the price, which is the per unit cost to the consumer. Let me say it again. The price, right? That's the per unit cost to the consumer. The dots on the marginal benefit curve is the benefits. We're gonna buy all goods for which the benefits exceed the cost. Again, those dots, you can say it two ways. Yes, there's measuring the benefit, and guess what? That is the maximum a consumer is willing to pay for the good. The maximum they're willing to pay for a good represents the benefit they see from that good. So what I'm saying, guys, is yeah, when I buy a good, oftentimes the benefit I get from that good is greater than the price. That just makes sense. That's why I bought that good. In fact, the more my benefit exceeds the price, the happier I'm going to be. Like if I go in to buy something and I'm expecting the price maybe to be $50, and who knows, maybe my benefit from that good's like $75, but I come in and I find out, oh no, you can get that for $5, I would be really, really happy, okay? And that happens, okay? The difference between the benefit that good's going to provide somebody and the price they have to pay, that gives them what we call surplus, okay? Consumer surplus. That's going to determine how happy they're going to be. So again, right here, all of these goods, these first five goods are going to provide some level of surplus. For that person who values it up to $16, that's quite a bit of surplus. The benefit that they think they're going to get from the good is far higher than the price. And again, these little verticals right here is just the surplus. It's the amount the benefit exceeds the cost of the good. But if you notice that, guys, let me do one more time with the price. I'll put a price right here. So if the price is there, how much would be bought? Oh, that's easy. The first one, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8 goods would be bought. Why? Because the benefit, all the way up to the dot, is greater than the price. But that's how many would be bought. And then you start to realize as you do that enough, oh, the marginal benefit curve is giving me the demand curve. What is the demand curve? It tells us how much we will buy at each price. What does the demand curve tell us? How much we will buy at each price. Now notice, again, I just have the marginal benefit curve. I'm just measuring the benefits of each goods. But that benefit, that measuring the benefit, is going to tell us how much we will buy at each price. The marginal benefit curve gives us the demand curve. Again, just to go really fast, price right here, how much are we going to buy? 1. Price right here, how much are we going to buy? 2. Price falls right there, how many are we going to buy? 3. Price falls right there, how many are we going to buy? 4, right? So as you do that, you realize, oh, well, that's telling me this curve, which is the marginal benefit curve, is again telling me how much I'm going to buy at each price. That's the demand curve. So again, as I begin to see these values as price, Well, I can now write D for demand, okay? When we talk about the demand curve, price, the independent variable, quantity, and I'm going to put a quantity demanded right there, that is the dependent variable, okay? So just focus on this line being demand for a second. Oh, that's showing how much we'll buy at each price, right? So when I talk about demand curve, my orientation is no longer vertical, it's horizontal. Now I'm going to show that in a second just visually, but let me go back to seeing this as a marginal benefit curve. The marginal benefit is dependent upon which good I am talking about, okay? It's dependent upon which good I am talking about. So guess what? When I see this curve as a marginal benefit curve, my orientation is vertical. Don't be nervous about that. That's what we've been doing the whole time. There's a benefit, there's a benefit, there's a benefit. That's a vertical, that's a vertical line I'm making with my finger, right? I couldn't quite think of how to say that. This vertical distance, that's a vertical distance, that's a vertical distance. My orientation is vertical. But when I see it as a demand curve, I'm saying, oh, that's how much I'm going to buy. This is how much I'm going to buy at what? Each of these prices. My orientation becomes horizontal. That distance is the quantity demanded, is the quantity demanded, is the quantity demanded, is the quantity demanded. So here's the thing. The taste for our good goes up. All of a sudden the taste or our preference for the good goes up. If that happens, the marginal benefit of each good is going to go up, because if I refer to this curve as the marginal benefit curve, marginal benefit is the dependent variable. It determines my orientation to the graph. And so, hey, marginal benefit is going up. It's going vertically up. So there it is. My marginal benefit curve just went up. But what happened to my demand curve? My demand curve increased. But what did it do? It shifted to the right? Because the quantity I'm going to demand is going to increase, is going to increase at each price point. It's going to increase at each price point. The quantity I'm going to demand is going to increase at each price point, right? So yes, when marginal benefit goes up for each good, goes up for each good, that vertical distance increases for each good. Guess what, guys? We're going to say, yes, the MB curve went up, which means the demand curve is going to shift to the right. We will now demand more at every price point. So let me say that again. The marginal benefit of each curve went up, of each good went up. The marginal benefit of each good went up. So now the quantity we're going to demand is going to increase at all our different price points. This curve, you can see it as two things. You can see it as the marginal benefit curve or the demand curve. In fact, I like to say the marginal benefit curve is the foundation of the demand curve, okay? It's why the demand curve is where the demand curve is at. It is the foundation. They are one and the same. You can see it as one or the other. It is interesting, if you refer to it as an MB curve, you should actually talk about it shifting up and down. If you refer to it as a demand curve, you should refer to it as shifting right and left. Again, for the MB curve, Y up and down. Hey, if the MB increases for each good, that's an increase for each one of these goods. You're going up. But when that happens, the amount we're going to demand is going to increase at each one of these price points. And if the amount we're going to demand increases at each price point, demand shifted to the right. Watch that video twice. Get the understanding of this video. Understand that demand curves are actually a bunch of dots, and those dots sit above goods. And the vertical distance between the horizontal axis and that good is the marginal benefit of that good. The marginal benefit, that good, the per unit benefit, that good is going to provide somebody. As soon as you get that, so many things are going to become easier in your economics class. Hope that made sense to you. We'll see you in the next video.